index numbers. It is familiar to you all. Under the head salary income in income tax, when you calculate the taxable income, there we consider gross income first. This gross income means it is the sum of basic, dearness allowance, HRA, house rent allowance, CCA, like that. Variance allowances are there. One among those allowances is dearness allowance. This dearness allowance is given to employees on what basis? On the basis of these indices. That means this index is very important even to provide dearness allowance. Here, why that dearness allowance is given means in order to compensate the changes in the cost of living of common people. How do they find out the changes in cost of living? Means there may be increase in cost of living or decrease in cost of living. Usually from time to time we are observing, usually there is a net increase in cost of living. This increase in cost of living may be increase in the prices of various commodities and services, and to certain extent increase in the price of one commodity may be compensated by the decrease in the prices of other commodity. But anyhow, we find the net increase in the cost of living of common people from time to time. And not only there, even if you come to the stock market, if you have observed in newspaper or in news, it will be given the increase in Sensex or Nifty. That is calculated on what basis? That is also on the basis of indices. Means there they will going to consider the list of some of mid caps, small caps, large caps of companies' share price, and they will going to calculate the index number, and on that basis they will say whether there is an increase in the Sensex or Nifty or decrease in Sensex or Nifty, like that. And even to find out the changes in national income, per capita income, in all those cases we come across, even the productivity, in all those cases we come across this index number. That means an index number is a statistical device for comparing the general level of magnitude of a group of distinct but related variables in two or more situations. Generally, an index number is regarded as a percentage relative based on a fixed period in the past and constituting a measurement of change, usually prices, money value and quantities. Means here an index number is a special type of averages that provides a measurement of relative changes from time to time. Nowadays, index numbers are used not only to measure the changes in the purchasing power of money, but also to measure the changes in population, productivity of different factors of production, agricultural activity, industrial activity, business activity, imports and exports, standard of living and cost of living, etc. Thus, index numbers are used to read the pulse of any economic activity, and so they are also called as economic barometer. When you come to characteristics of index numbers, we say index numbers are specialized averages, index numbers are expressed in percentages, index numbers are for comparison, and index numbers measure changes not capable of direct measurement. Then when you come to purpose of index numbers, The main purpose are first to measure and compare changes, and next to measure the purchasing power of money, and third one mainly to provide guidelines to policy. Now, when you come to the construction of index numbers, when you come to statistical aspects of construction of index numbers, before computing any index number, decision must be taken about the following statistical aspects. That means first one, definition of the purpose. It is necessary to specify clearly the purpose of calculating index number. If purpose is clearly defined, then it is possible to decide the other problems. Next, second one is scope of the enquiry. That means decision must be taken about the three aspects in case of scope of the enquiry. That is, one is relating to, first one is time, second one is area, third one is subject, or we say subject matter. Okay. Now, time means they have to decide in advance the time within which the data or information is to be collected and the investigation is to be completed relating to the information required for calculating the index number. Second one, area. The area for their study is to be decided in advance. Then another one is subject matter. Subject matter means it refers to items or individuals from whom information is to be collected. Usually here we come across commodities, means which are the commodities to be considered for their study for calculating the index number, that is to be clearly decided. Next one is selection of base. Here when you come to selection of base, here we come across mainly two bases. First one is fixed base and second one is chain base. That means whether it is fixed base or chain base, it depends upon the period towards which the current year prices or current period values are compared. In case of fixed base, here current period value means quantity into price, current period values divided by base period values, and it is known to you index number is expressed in percentage, therefore it is multiplied by 100. Here base period means it is selected a particular period one or the particular year one among the years which they have selected for study is selected as the base period. Means that must be of recent one, it should not be affected by abnormalities like flood, famine, war, like that. That must be a normal one, normal period. On the other hand, in case of chain base, here current period values are compared with previous period values. That means current period values divided by previous period values, and index numbers are expressed in percentage, therefore multiplied by 100. Here numerator in both the bases current period values, denominator in case of fixed base index number base period values, and in case of chain base index number denominator is previous period values. That's all. Here which base they will going to consider. for constructing index number, that is to be decided in advance. Then next one is types of price quotations. Here mainly we come across two types of prices. One is wholesale price and another one is retail price, isn't it? Therefore, they have to decide in advance, means before starting construction of index number, which type of quotations they have to consider, whether it is wholesale price quotation or retail price quotation. Okay. Next one is method of quoting prices. Here under method of quoting prices we come across two methods. First one is money price and second one is quantity price. Okay. Here in case of money price, here the quantity is constant. For example, for 1 kg of rice, it may be 25 rupees or 30 rupees or even 85 rupees or even 100 rupees, like that. Means that we say money price. Okay. Here quantity is constant, there is variation in prices. Then another one is quantity price. That means here we say in case of quantity price, here for 100 rupees, how many quantity, means how many kgs of rice may be available. That we may say for 100 rupees, here maybe 2 kgs of rice or maybe 3 kgs of rice or even only 1 kg of rice, like that. In case of quantity price, the rupee value or the rate is constant, here quantity will vary. Here among these two, here method of quoting price, whether they are quoting in money price or quantity price, that is also to be decided in advance. Next one is selection of average. Here it is known to you, we come across mainly 5 types of averages: mean, median, mode, harmonic mean, geometric mean. Here among these 5 types of averages, median and mode, they are positional averages, therefore that cannot be applied here, and even harmonic mean is not suitable for index number. Then remaining 2 are arithmetic mean, that is x bar, and geometric mean. Among these two, which one is the best one that for their purpose, for the construction of index number of a particular, under a particular situation, that they have to decide. Means when you come to the geometric mean, that is the best one to deal with the ratios, percentages indicating the rate of change. And in case of geometric mean, it gives more weight to smaller values and lesser weight to larger values, which is the setup of the society. Therefore, in that aspect, that geometric mean is the best one for construction of index number. But this application of this geometric mean is little complicated one. But arithmetic, when you come to arithmetic mean, that is the simple one. Means if you don't want complicated calculation in construction, then it is enough if they take arithmetic mean, then they may select arithmetic mean also. Next one is system of weighting. Means the commodities or items included in index number will never have equal importance. So it is necessary to distinguish between their importance. This can be done by assigning appropriate weights to each item or individual. Means here we come across 2 methods of weighting. That one is implicit weighting and another one is explicit weighting. Means in case of implicit weighting, certain procedure is followed to the weighting for the commodities or items included in the index number. Okay. Another one is explicit weighting. In case of explicit weighting, the expert in charge of this construction of index number will going to assign weights on his experience. These are the two methods. Among these two, which one they have to follow, that is also to be decided in advance. Then last one, selection of formula. Here different persons have given different formulas. Among all those, which one is best suitable one for that particular situation to calculate or to construct index number, that they have to select in advance. Means here, even though there are so many formulas, among all, Fisher's index number is considered to means Fisher's formulas for constructing index number is considered to be the best one. Okay, this is regarding the statistical aspects to be considered for construction of index numbers. Then when you come to construction of index number, there we come across some symbols. Before taking the problems, it is better to know these symbols used in the construction of index number. Here it is the comparison between two different periods. Here it may be base period or previous period, and next one is current period. Therefore, here 0, this base period is denoted by 0. 0 means base period. Okay. Next, 1 means current period. Then we come across price, quantity, value, isn't it? P, that is small p, it denotes price, small q denotes quantity, then small v, it denotes value. Value means what? Price into quantity, that is P into Q. Here you should not get confused with the P and Q. We have taken under regression analysis and correlation analysis. There we have taken in the place of D to take deviations of variable x and y. Here small p and small q, they refer to price and quantity. Then if you take a capital letter P, capital letter P, it denotes price index number. Then capital letter Q, it denotes quantity index number. Then capital letter V, it denotes value index number. These are the 8 symbols you must keep in mind while constructing index number. 0 means base period, 1 means current period, small p price, small q quantity, small v value, that is p into q, price into quantity, capital letter P price index number, capital letter Q quantity index number, and capital letter V value index number. Now, under methods of constructing index number, mainly we have 2 methods. First one is unweighted index number and second one is weighted index number. Under unweighted index number, we come across simple aggregate method and average price relative method. In the same manner, under weighted index number, we come across weighted aggregate method and weighted relative method. In case of weighted unweighted index number, the name itself denotes in the unweighted index number, weights are not expressly assigned. Here we come across simple aggregate method and average price relative method. When you come to simple aggregate method, under this method, total of all the prices in the current period is compared on the total of all the prices of the base period. That is, here I have already told you, this base period is denoted by 0 and current period is denoted by 1. Therefore, we take price index number of current period as compared to previous period. P denotes price index number. Price index number of current period as compared to previous period. In case of simple aggregate method, the total of the prices in the current period. Total means we denoted by sigma. Price we denoted by small letter p. Current period we denoted by 1. Total of prices of current period is compared with the total of prices of base period, that is 1. That is sigma total of prices small p of base period 0, and index number is expressed in percentage, therefore it is multiplied by 100. That means to calculate simple index number under simple aggregate method, the formula is P01 equals sigma P1 divided by sigma P0 into 100. That is total of all the prices in current period divided by total of prices of base period into 100. Okay. Now, if you take one problem, here the problem may be like this. You may be given first column items. Under items, you may take any commodity, rice, wheat, sugar, milk, salt, like that, oil, any commodities may be taken. Just I take here as A, B, C, D, and here I take price in 2019 and price in 2020. Okay. Now price in 2019 may be taken as 20, 24, 16, 50. Then 2020, 32, 30, 20, 54. Okay. Like this we may take the prices of 4 commodities in 2019 and 2020. Here the previous year may be taken as the base. Therefore, base period price, it is nothing but P0, and price in 2020 comparatively this 2020 is the recent one. Therefore, that is taken as current period, that is denoted by P1. Now, the formula is what? P01, price index number of current period compared to base period, sigma P1 divided by sigma P0. That means what? Sigma P1 means total of prices of current period, sigma P0 total of prices of base period. Just we have to take the total of both the columns. 110, this is sigma P0, and 136, it is sigma P1. That's all. Just we have to take the total of the given prices during the current period and the base period. Then here we have to apply the formula. Here formula is sigma P01 equals sigma P1 divided by sigma P0 into 100. Sigma P1 136 divided by sigma P0 110 into 100. (136) divided by 110 into 100. It comes to 123.64%. Always we have to say in percentage. It indicates what? Here 100 means that is same, no change in the current period, we say. Here more than 100, it is more than 100, it is 123.64. More than 100, how much? 23.64. Means we have to say there is an increase in current period price by 23.64%. 100 is equal to the base period, no change in that. More than 100 we say increase, less than 100 we say decrease. When you compare to the base period, in the current period prices are increase, means aggregate increase in prices of these A, B, C, D commodities by 23.64%. Okay. Now let us take one more problem. Here it may be taken, you may take items or commodities, all are one and the same. Commodities. Under commodities we may take 1, 2, 3, 4, you may take the actual commodity name are like this. Then here take same price in 2019 and price in 2020. Okay. Here take 24, 36, 50, 40. In 2020, 30, 39, 44, 37. Okay. Now, here also price in 2019 base period, and that is P0, and price in 2020 P1. Now take the total 150 sigma P0 sigma P1. Okay. Now we have to apply the same formula. Now formula is P01 equals sigma P1 divided by sigma P0 divided by 100. Total of prices in current period and total of prices of base period. Here P1 is how much? 150 divided by P sigma P0. Sigma P1 150, sigma P0 also 150 into 100. That means how much? 100%. Isn't it? That means what? Here there is a changes in prices. There is a changes in prices. Here commodity 1, 24, here is 30. Means there is an increase. Even this also increase. This one decrease. This one decrease. That means what? Here increase in price of one of the commodities is compensated by the decrease in prices of other commodity. That means in order to avoid this limitation, the improvement over this method is average price relative method. That means in here if you have observed, in the aggregate method, because only totals are compared, here we compare the totals, only totals are compared. An increase in one price may be compensated by decrease in the other price, and there will not be any change in the index number as we have shown here. Therefore, to avoid this defect, the improved method is aggregate price relative method. In this method, the change in price of each commodity, that is price relative, is computed separately, and the average of these price relatives is taken as index number. That means we take the formula as P01 equals sigma R divided by sigma divided by n. Here sigma r means total of price relatives. Here r equals where r equals P1 divided by P0 into 100. That means we will going to calculate price relatives for each commodity, and here n equals number of items or commodities. Number of items or commodities. Like this, we have to apply this formula. Means here if you take the same problem, then how under price relative method, if you calculate or if you construct index number under price relative method, then how we have to take is, here we have to take R first. First step is R. R equals P1 divided by P0 into 100. That means we have to calculate the price relative for each commodity. P1 price of current period, that is of commodity A, that is 32 divided by P0 price of base period of commodity A 20 into 100. It is 160. Then next one is 30 divided by 24 into 100. It comes to 125. Next one 20 divided by 16 into 100. That is also 125. Next one 54 divided by 50 into 100. That is 108. Okay. Now we have to take, here formula is P01 equals sigma r divided by n. Sigma r means total of these price relatives of the given commodities. Total is 518. That is sigma r. Then n equals number of commodities. How many commodities are here? How many commodities or items are given? 4, isn't it? Now you have to apply this formula, that is P01 equals sigma r divided by n. Sigma r is how much? 518 divided by n, number of commodities 4. Now 518 divided by 4, it comes to 129.5, that is also percent. Here you should not get confused that here it is not multiplied by 100. How is it in percentage? Here itself you have multiplied each price relative, price relative of each commodity is taken in percentage. Here it is multiplied by 100, means these are in percentage. Therefore it is 129.5%. That means what we have to say, under average price relative method, if you construct index number, then it denotes current year prices are increased by 29.5% as compared to previous period prices. Now if you take this problem, then if you solve this problem under price relative method, how we have to take? Here we need not take here also under price relative method, you need not take the total of sigma P0 and total of P0 and P1, that is sigma P0 and P1, not necessary. Now what we have to take? R. R equals P1 divided by P0 into 100. That means 30 divided by 24 24 into 100, 125. Next, 39 divided by 36 into 100, it comes to 108.333. Next, 44 divided by 50 into 100, that is 88. Next one, 37 divided by 40 into 100, that is 92.5. 92.5. Now, we have to take the total of R, that is sigma R. It is 0.8333. $413.833, that is sigma R. Okay. Now, N equals, here also N equals number of commodities 4. Now you have to apply the formula. P01 equals sigma R divided by N equals sigma R is 413.8333 divided by 4. N, number of commodities 4. 413.8333 divided by 4. It comes to 103.46%. When you have calculated under the simple aggregate method, it shows that there was no change, means it was P01 was 100. Therefore, here in order to overcome the limitation of this method, the improved one is average price relative method. Okay, these are under unweighted index number. Now, when you come to weighted index number, there we come across weighted aggregate method and weighted relative method. In case of the name itself denotes weighted, means in case of weighted index number, weights are assigned to various items. In case of unweighted index number, weights are not assigned expressly. But in case of weighted index number, weights are assigned to the various items or commodities. Even in this case also we come across weighted aggregate method and weighted relative method. In case of weighted aggregate method, weighted total of the prices in the current period, weighted totals of the prices in the current period is compared on weighted total of the prices in the base period. That means the formula is P01 equals sigma P1W divided by sigma P0W into 100. Weighted prices of the current period, total sigma, weighted W, prices of P1 current period compared on total weighted prices of base period. Thus are, and expressed in percentage, therefore it is into 100. In case of price weighted relative method, it is similar to average price relative method, means in case of average price relative method, we take the total of price relative and divided by number of items. Here we have to take total of weighted price relative, means P01 equals, here we take same sigma R, here weights are not assigned, therefore no W. Here W is nothing but weight, therefore sigma RW divided by, here when there is no weight, we take number of commodities or number of items. Here weights are assigned, therefore we take total weight. That's all. That is P01 equals sigma RW divided by sigma W. Here simple aggregate method, P0 equals sigma P1 divided by sigma P0 into 100. Same formula, P1, sigma P0, you add just W in both the places. Okay. Here aggregate price relative method, sigma R divided by N. Here it is sigma RW divided by sigma W. Like that you have to keep some clues to keep in memory these different formulas. Okay. Now, next in the next video, I take problems under weighted aggregate method and weighted relative method. Okay. Thank you.